today's video, we're going to be talking about the new casual mode in Call of Duty Warzone and how it's more likely to save the game than ranked. My name is Mingers and I have been playing COD since 2005, and back in the day when we first started, multiplayer was the only way to play. And obviously back then, the skill-based matchmaking level was a bit less strict than what it is these days in Warzone and BR. And back then you could find lobbies and have a lot of fun with varying skill levels. You would run into people who were really good. In the same time, in the same lobby, you would run into people who just didn't really know what to do, or you'd be playing with friends of varying mixed levels. But as Warzone started back in 2019 and even in Blackout a little earlier than that, it does get harder to play with people who are on different skill levels, because you do get pushed into a higher bracket depending on the skill level of your teammates. There is skill-based matchmaking for what we think mainly based around KD and stats and how engaged you are in the game and potentially how sweaty you are, the amount of inputs that you have. It's not an exact science. We'll never really know exactly how it works, but that is a fact that we all have to deal with now. It's not going away. It's staying. And I think BR Casual breaks that up a little bit, especially when it comes to countries like Australia, where I'm from. The number of players that actively play the game has diminished incredibly. I know that's being talked about as an overall thing, but in Australia in particular, towards the end of Warzone 1, in Caldera, when there was a lot of issues for console and it was impossible for console players to play the game at one point, the interest in Call of Duty Warzone sort of died off a bit. A lot of people took to Resurgence, and a lot of the play base pretty much just played Resurgence for a while. And even now, finding lobbies in Rebirth is a ton easier than finding BR games, particularly in Warzone 2 when Ranked came out. There would be no lobbies. People would have to VPN to the US to find games to play, which is disappointing, and it's frustrating for a player base where I guess it's a lot of the casuals or even people who did love the game but didn't really enjoy playing it consistently for whatever reason. Maybe there was issues, maybe it was too hard. Maybe they didn't enjoy running around to loot for 10-15 minutes to get their loadouts eventually just to be stacked out by some really high skilled players, or maybe just didn't find a lot of engagements, and when they did they would lose. You can lose enjoyment when you're not having fun, when you're losing games all the time, or it's frustrating that you can't do what you see other people being able to do. And so I guess a lot of the play base fell off. And so now when BR Casual is back, there are 28 players, 28 real people in a lobby compared to 128 AI. A lot of people are concerned that they still run into some really high skilled players, and I get the frustration in that too, but I don't think that's a very good reason to say high skilled players shouldn't be playing BR Casual. It should only be for casual players. Or how do you define, first of all, what a casual player is? I've been playing COD, like I said, since 2005. I only get to play maybe 2 hours a night, maybe 3 times a week if I'm lucky. So maybe 6 hours in total a week of playtime is what I get. My KD in Warzone, if it's any guide, it's like 1.7. It's nothing crazy. I'm confident when going around the map and getting in fights with people. I don't like to hide around. I like to run around. For only getting to play like an hour or two, I want to get in as many engagements that I can and not feel like I'm just holding an angle and holding a building for the whole game. That's just the way I like to play. But there are definitely much higher skilled players than me, and getting slammed by someone who's just an absolute demon is just a moment where I say respect. I try and learn from it and try and get better. And, I guess when we're talking about skill-based matchmaking at the same time here, being forced to continuously play against people your level in a small range around your skill bracket can get very tiresome. And personally, it tires me out a lot because of the small amount of playtime I get to play, if I've got to try my hardest every single game, I can't play with maybe people who aren't as skilled. Maybe they get frustrated with the game and they're not having a good time, and that rubs off on me. It also means that you have to use the best guns. It's very hard to run around the map with like a double shotgun class or like RPG sniper and just trying to do some fun, weird things. It's very hard to do that. And I think BR Casual is a mode which lets you can try a bunch of different things. Yeah, you'll probably get slammed when you do run into the real people who are very passionate and stacking, but for the most part, it's a great way for people to warm up, play the game, have a bit of fun, and maybe that's their start off for the night and they end up going to other game modes. I can't imagine that there'll be a lot of high skilled players that would be excited to just play casual all the time. So it might be a novelty for people who are that inclined, and it might wear off. I would think so, because there's only so many hours you could play where people don't shoot back, and I'm sure when you get more to a high skill level, you want to get more competitive. You kind of want to get that engagement with somebody who's difficult to overcome, and then you figure out a way. But it's fair to say a lot of the player base who have continued to play throughout the last few years, you can't be considered a casual. If you've been playing Call of Duty Warzone for the last 4 or 5 years and you haven't stopped, would that be considered someone who is not a casual? I would argue yes. I would argue a casual in the strictest terms would be somebody who maybe has picked up the game for the first time, has thought, oh, let me try this out, maybe hasn't played any games in the last few years and has taken a break, or is finally discovering Warzone after hearing about it for so long. They don't know what the buttons are, they don't know what's going on. I would consider that more of a casual than depending on your skill level. I wouldn't say just because you have a lower skill ceiling that makes you more of a casual than somebody who is maybe naturally better, maybe adapts better. I'm going to put up a chart here of a KD distribution graph just to show. I think this is from Warzone 1, back when the stats were available on Warzone Tracker or COD Tracker. Somebody put some stats together on this graph to show the distribution of like a 0.8 KD is, and around about there is where the majority of people will lie. And you could make the argument that since Warzone 1, that might have gone up a little bit as people get better, as they've learned more about the game, as people improve. So there's really not that many people of a higher skill when you get to like even 1.4 and above. Some people would argue that's average, but also this just shows it's not that common. So to think that you're only going to run up against people of a high skill in BR Casual and they should stay out, it's probably unlikely you're going to run into anybody of that level. I think it's good to take a look at what Fortnite has done since 2019. That was when they first introduced AI bots into their game to fill lobbies, because yeah, in some countries it can be difficult to fill a lobby, to stop increasing queue times and having people sit in the menus for too long. Maybe it's harder for people to find people to play with, so squads don't fill. There are AI in the game, and there even still is some people who think that shouldn't belong in the game for whatever reason. I think if you're filling games fast for the player base, and if you've ever played Fortnite, it's the first couple of games you play, it feels like the complete lobby is just AI. You will be able to do all kinds of different things, drop 30 kills a game for the first few games. It's insane. But Fortnite has gone from strength to strength, and I think they are the gold standard in BR and a game that continues to evolve and listen to its player base and what keeps people coming back. There's a reason Fortnite is so much more popular than Warzone. That could be one of the things. They have catered to the casual. The casual is the person who won't stick through the game through thick and thin. And it's the people who are just coming back now to Warzone, to Verdansk, or joining for the first time. They are the casual. That is who this game is being tailored to. And personally, I think that should be the direction. That's great. For so long, Warzone has been trying to be pushed into a competitive direction. You know, we've got to improve the way people can push around the map, and we've got to get faster and faster and faster and sweatier and sweatier and sweatier. A lot of people who are the casual, the lower skill, do get phased out of the game. They get left behind. They get frustrated. They'll just won't play. They'll do something else. And that's when a player base diminishes. That's when lobbies overall just get harder, because there's only the passionate people left, and that's where Warzone has been the last few years. So I think it's great that Warzone Casual is coming, and it's giving people an option to play a game they might not be comfortable with or as high skilled with, and it's a lot of fun. Whether you're playing with friends, whether you're playing with randoms, there's no reason you can't have fun on the game. It doesn't have to be that serious. And I don't think, as long as you're not flexing, I mean, you can drop 40, 50 kills in this game mode. I think I dropped 30 on my first night playing, like on the second game. It's fairly simple to drop 20 kills a game. And I know that some people won't be able to do that, and that's fine. But I think it's a good way to increase your ceiling. I wouldn't normally be able to do that in regular Warzone. It would take a long time for me. It did take a long time for me to drop my first 20, as well as a 30. I think I've only got one. I'm not that high skilled, but this is a nice, refreshing way to play the game that I wouldn't normally be able to do in regular BR. And if you were to look at the way I have just spoken about what my KD is, the fact that I do play when I'm on stream. I'm a streamer, I guess. Content creator. I'm making videos right now on Warzone. I don't think I'm any less of a casual than somebody who only gets to play 4 hours a night and they play with their friends. I play even less than that. I only play like 2 hours a night every other night, like I said. So I would argue I'm just as much of a casual as anyone else out there. And there is absolutely no shame in admitting where your skill ceiling is at the moment, where your skill level lies. Like I said, I stream, and I don't think my stats, my ability is all that impressive. I just do it for a good time. I'm on there just to try and find people in community. But there is no shame in anyone else there who is maybe lower skilled and doesn't get that many kills even in the casual mode. That's fine. But there's no reason to eliminate other people from being able to play the game. The likelihood of you running into some really high skilled players in this is pretty low. Like I said, there's only 28 real people in the lobby, which includes yourself. So there's about 7 teams of real people. The rest are AI. You'd be able to tell the difference pretty quickly. They float down very gently. They are in the sky for a very long time. They don't miss. They don't hit a lot of their shots. They're very, very inaccurate, and they like to throw their lethals, go prone when they're shooting, and just lie there. Very much in a stark contrast to the way the AI was in the game in Warzone 2. If people remember back then, the black sites, the AI were demons. They would chase you down. They would headshot you. They would third party your fights if you were fighting other people. I think in BR Casual there's a nice balance there where, yes, you can run into people, but majority of the time, unless if by coincidence everyone's landing in a hotspot, you're going to run into AI most of the time. You'll see people, the real people, sliding around. They're the real players. But for the most part, you're not going to find them a lot of the time, especially as a potentially lower skilled player. Where is your landing zone? Is it the hotspots like Superstore, Hospital, or are you landing on the outskirts and trying to work your way in slowly? Either way, you're going to have a good time playing this mode if you're not taking it too seriously. Like I said, yes, it's corny for a really, really good high skilled player to be flexing in a casual mode where People are just having a good time, dropping 30, 40, 50 kills, going crazy, making clips. Sure, I understand that. Why would anyone do that? It's pretty corny. But for the rest of us, there's no reason that anyone can't play the game as long as they're having fun. It is a casual mode. I think that is fun, is the prime mover of this mode. You can find a sense of accomplishment trying different things in the game that you might not normally do in a regular BR match. Again, using different guns, maybe playing different positioning, trying different things in the game. There is a sense of accomplishment, getting some confidence, being able to run around the map, not being too scared, and generally just trying to improve. There's no reason, yes, you're shooting against AI targets who are designed to not kill you that quickly. It's a great chance to practice your aim. It's a great chance to practice moving in a gunfight, practicing a drop shot, practicing strafing and sliding while you shoot, and trying all the different things that you see high skilled players do. And of course, that's in a contrast to ranked mode, where there are different breeds of players that will play ranked. They are the people who probably won't stop playing the game no matter what. Pretty much anybody who's hung around this long through all the crap that the game has gone through, all the hard times, all the bad times, are the people who are playing ranked. We're not leaving the game. Those people are not straying away from Call of Duty. Ranked doesn't bring new people back. It doesn't bring a casual player base back. It doesn't bring enthusiasm from new players to play. They don't know what ranked is. What's the point of trying to compete in a game you know nothing about? My argument here is that the casual mode will bring back more people and cause more people to hang around than the ranked mode. And the sheer fact that so many people are enjoying Verdansk still, even though it's been out a couple months now, there are some glitches that have started to show their heads, but for the most part, Call of Duty has brought back the game to levels of the first time it dropped. It's brought enjoyment. It's brought a lot of fun, and casual mode sums that up. Casual mode has brought in all those things because you can have a good time just like you could back in the day. My name is Mingus. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm going to let the rest of the gameplay play out. This was a pretty weird ending to the game, I'm not going to lie. If you do enjoy this type of video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, tell me what you think. Do you think casual mode is a fun mode to play? Should anybody be able to play it? Is it going to save Call of Duty? Has Call of Duty already been saved? I personally think off the back of this we can go from strength to strength. But until the next video, I hope to see you guys in the comments. Appreciate you, and I'll catch you soon. Whoa.
On your right, Ninja.
Yeah. Absolutely turned on Minnow Psycho.
Just here? Fuck, how can you even see me?
When you are just standing in the middle of fucking nowhere.
He's just here. He's just here.
He's also the guy that you drove us into before. Yeah, they're
Please
pushing
shoot
up
him.
on
Please shoot him.
There's two there,
He's just
they're both pushing.
Next to the tree.
Got one of them.
That guy is not missing, bro.
Yeah, I don't know how he saw me, to be honest at all.
Correct.
This gas is moving pretty rapidly though.
Got him.
Yeah. Oh, sniper behind. Oh, that's bad.
On me.
One of us. Yes.
Mingy swamp.
Again, there's still two there.
Down one, down one.
Broke one of them.
Yeah,
broke one.
nice. Nice, perfect.
Fast cunts.
Just need some plates.
Yeah,
Oh, I got a
use
plate
your
box.
kit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oops.
I saved it. I like literally cancelled it.
I did not want to drop my SMG.
Enemy nearby.
Yeah, yep.
Mocked. Jump into this house in front of us.
People here.
Bang up a recce drone.
Watch right as well. They have the high ground on us to the right. Josh, can you check
Just
that?
one on your mark down low there. Yeah, I'm checking.
Yeah, I'm gonna
high
go right.
ground.
Ish.
There's
They're
another moving.
deep high ground, still all the way up at the buy.
Let's move right here, Josh. You want
Yeah, move right.
There's two in that factory building you were shooting at. Now.
Camping that.
Is he peeking?
One peeking low.
Nice.
Down one. That's bullshit.
But you're full.
Finish. Thank you. I think there was one more at least.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Enemy UAV.
I'm marked. I'm marked. Shooting. I don't know where the best spot is to rotate. It's not here though, guys. It's open as fuck here. We gotta go right or left.
You've got gas moving in.
I'm going to Mingus.
Yeah, come.
Yeah, let's go around. Let's go around.
Oh fuck, I don't have the money for 20. I just fucking killed myself now. I do.
Should be able to land on that loadout.
Yep. Thank you.
20.
Probably
Someone
fucking
nearby?
Get sniped straight away, but
In front of us, right there, right there, right there. On the wall, on the wall.
Mate. Fuck. But who just ran me over and got me killed? If that was you, 20, I swear to
No,
God.
no, it was me. I was trying to move the car into cover.
No.
fuck me.
Yeah, at the moment they've got casual ranked.
It's just here.
And casual ranked and normal quads. Plus resurgence, plus the high trip mode as well.
Oh,
3v2.
well played, boys.
One's going far left.
Carried that entire game.
Both of them, both of them. Look at blue ping, look at blue ping. Nice. Shots. Can't believe that guy was just waiting on that broken wall.
Yeah, bro.
The only thing is when that first car came in, I could have